All right, guys. So I told you that a Fed rate cut was coming and that it was probably going to be a little significant. It ended up being zero point 0.5, which is a half point. Now, really quickly, what a Fed rate cut means is that's essentially the price that banks pay to borrow money from the Fed or borrow money. It's like bank borrowing rates, right? And so if the banks can borrow money for cheaper, then because the banks are businesses, they borrow money too. If the banks can borrow money for less, then you can borrow money from the bank for less, and that's how it gets to you. Whereas if the interest rates are high, the banks pay more to borrow the money, which means they pass the cost down to you. So if they pay more, you pay more. If they pay less, you potentially pay less. And so today is a good day for some, bad day for others. It's a good day if you're in the stock market. Stock market is going to go nuts just on the rumors. It was going nuts. And if you are someone who owns the asset and the inflation is going down and the debt becomes a little cheaper, then it might not be as good for you. But still better to own the asset than to be the person that's buying the asset or having to pay for the asset, right? So again. By the way, hit subscribe, hit thumbs up. Welcome to the channel. So the Fed rate was cut. Now, I've been telling you, because I'm not a guru in this by any means. I've just started learning about this just a couple years ago. But here's what I've been saying, because you guys been, I just like to address the idea or the fact that it's not theory, it's not idea, it's a fact that people are addicted to buying houses. So now that I know that, because housing is the new drug, so now that I know people are addicted to buying houses, I know you guys are like, what's this going to do for the housing market? And so remember in 2020, houses were very cheap. 2021, 22, they started going up. My house doubled in price in 2 years. I sold that bad boy. I'm not addicted to owning homes or buying homes. You never own it, but I'm not addicted to it. I'm addicted to cash flow. I'm addicted to financial freedom. So I'm not addicted to buying houses, owning houses, telling people I own a home. That does nothing for me. I'm addicted to financial freedom, where my family and I can do what we want to do when we want to do it. And we don't have to be on anybody's clock. It's our time, it's our life. We can do whatever in the world we want to do with it, kind of like we do today. So financial freedom, mama ain't raised no fool, I'm taking this money. Financial freedom is the goal, not home ownership. But I know for most of you, home ownership is the goal. So let's address it really quickly. So what's this going to do for the housing market? Now, keep in mind, I always tell you, don't buy houses with paychecks anyway. But what's this going to do for the housing market? So in 2022, houses were pretty much the highest it's ever been, and it doubled in price, right? And then all of a sudden, it hit its peak and then it started dipping down a little bit. And that house may go down $100,000, but it does not matter, because the house was so severely overpriced in the first place that even at a $100,000 crash, it's still too expensive, still costs too much. And so you got to think about things like that even if the house went down in price. By the way, we're buying a house now. So we found a house we like. We're buying a house now here in Texas. But we're not buying a house with a paycheck. That's the deal. And so, but the housing market, listen, the crash you guys have been looking for, it's already happened. Unfortunately, with the interest rates being cut, the housing prices are probably going to go back up. I can't guarantee it. I just go based on the principle that if there's more money chasing the same goods, and now that money is cheaper to borrow, more people are going to borrow that money to go after the same goods, which is the house, then that's probably going to drive the housing price back up. Unfortunately, for most people, this is the new wave. It is what it is. If that $700,000 house dropped to $600,000, that's the crash. I know some years before that, it was $300,000, $400,000. It'll never go back to that. The crash has happened. You didn't feel it because it was like a blip, but it was significant. It was, in a lot of cases, houses lost $100,000, $150,000. But they were so overpriced to begin with that you didn't even feel it. You didn't even notice it. Why? Because the number to disqualify most people, probably about $350,000, most people are out of the market. So once it crosses 350, it doesn't even matter for the majority of Americans. It doesn't matter what the price is. We can't afford it. So understand this, that there's probably going to be people diving back into the housing market. Just watch the news. They're going to dive back into the housing market. Housing prices are going to go back up, and you're going to understand what I'm telling you is true, and that is the crash you've been waiting for has happened. As soon as they started lowering the interest rates, that's it. There is no more crashing. It's only going to go up. The worst it could do is stay the same. It darn sure ain't about to go down. So it's going to go up. If you're in the market, you want a house, hey, I'm with you. Probably not going to be able to get it, the average person. So I'm just telling you, here's what I recommend. Don't worry about the housing prices. Focus on financial freedom. Focus on creating an asset that creates cash flow, and then you take that cash flow and then you buy the house. A times C equals L. Asset times cash flow equals your liability. You get asset that produces cash flow. Use the cash flow to buy the liability, car, boat, vacation, home, doesn't matter. A times C equals L. They should teach that in school, although I made that up. But anyway, so I hope this video helps, and I hope you guys know that there will be no market crash. There will be no crashing of the housing market unless, no matter what they drop the rates to, you refuse to buy. But I know it won't happen because you guys are addicted to buying these homes. You're addicted to home ownership. Hit subscribe, hit thumbs up if you want to learn how to start your own middleman business from home, from your phone, without having to go to that stinking job, without having to listen to that boss or work with those coworkers you don't even like and they don't like you, or fighting through traffic, or working 2,000 hours a year. If you don't want to have to go through all of that, you need to have a business that works from your phone, from your laptop, from your couch. And I can teach you how to do that. Put the word middleman in the comments below. Let me teach you how to build a middleman business from your phone, where you get paid for every customer you book, but you don't do the work. You dispatch the work to someone else who actually does the work, not you. I've been doing this since 2020. I'm still doing it, still loving it, and I don't want to do anything else. If you want to learn how to do it, put middleman in the comments or click the video link in the description below. Have a great day, guys. Peace.